always look at it like this. If they can't stop it, continue to do it. Let me repeat. If they can't stop it, continue to do it. Because now all of a sudden everybody talking about where CeeDee Lamb is lined up at. I don't care. I don't care. If the dude is unstoppable, let the dude be unstoppable. Let's not go into the fisticuffs of whether or not he a number one wide receiver that lines up at X only. Nobody need to know that. Nobody need to know whether or not if you line up at the X or the Y or the Z. Hey, as long as you eat CeeDee, and on top of that, don't fall into the trap, because this is what people tend to do. Oh, well, he can't do this, he can't do that because he's not able to line up outside, so that don't qualify him as a number one wide receiver. But when we look back at where Tyreek Hill line up everywhere, nobody's bringing up, hey, he's not a true number one wide receiver. Just get the job done, and everything else will work its way out, Cowboy Nation. And that's what CeeDee is doing. So they're not technically is going to say, well, although he's on pace to break a Michael Irvin record as being the number one wide receiver for the Cowboys, but we're going to take it away because majority of his times running routes, he's running it from inside the slot. No. At the end of the day, he is a wide receiver. He is a wide receiver, so they're not finna take any of those yards away. See, that's what people like to do. They like to look at the Cowboys and say, well, who they beat? They didn't beat anybody. Those numbers, those stats shouldn't count. But everybody else, garbage time stats, they count. Everybody else, a win is a win. But the Cowboys got to win a certain way. The Cowboys got to move a certain way. Oh, Michael Parsons got to do things a certain way. When we all know that Michael Parsons, I'm switching it over to Michael Parsons, he is a weapon. He is a dog. You can line him up anywhere on that defensive front. Even we saw him do some reps at zero. He's a dog. Don't fall into the traps of saying, hey, man, he should only play linebacker. Hey, man, he should only play on the edge. No, don't put limitations on these people. Don't put these players inside boxes and things like that. Let these boys eat. Let these boys continue to do things beyond the norm. And that's what we're doing. So don't confine these guys. Let the haters hate. Let people try to shame you on enjoying your victory. Just keep getting the victories, because at the end of the day, that sounds like a lot of jealousy talk. That sounds like a lot of people wanting to be where you are at, so that they try to take away the things that you are doing. Have you ever wondered, maybe that's the situation and scenario? You got more Philadelphia Eagles fans talking about Cowboys this week than they are talking about the team that they lost to in the Super Bowl. I can't make this stuff up. They even going back and forth, whereas they saying, hey, this guy is XYZ, that guy is XYZ, and they are better than this guy because XYZ. Come on, man. Y'all need to be focusing in on the Chiefs. And let us focus on our Panthers, right? We're going to play against the Panthers this week, and we're going to make sure that we cross every T, dot every I, and CeeDee Lamb. If you want to go out there and grab that record, I tell people all the time, if you want to be that person, that mindset to go out there and grab something with all of your strength and capacity, then go out there and get it. Don't listen to the naysayers trying to play a game within the game. No. You do your game. You do what you need to do in order to elevate that 88 that's on your chest. Because at the end of the day, those yards still going to count as those yards, whether you line up in the backfield as a running back and catch the ball in the flat. And I do like the ideal that we're not painting ourselves into a corner. When it's a little stagnant with you, they put you on the end around. They are finally using their playmakers. Cowboys are finally using their playmakers. And you continue to make plays. Don't worry about all of the other stuff. Even my guy, Tony Pollard, don't worry about all of the other stuff. You run your game. You do your thing. Rico, when it's time for him to get in and get his shine, let him do that. Look, for the Cowboys community, every time we get nice stuff, the 4-ladder, the 3-ladder network, they try to tear it down. They try to put each other against each other, right? Especially with the star on the side of the helmet with the silver and blue. They love to put us against each other. No. It ain't finna happen. No. If Tony Pollard is eligible to run the ball, let him run it. And if Rico, it's time for him to run the ball, let him run it. Let's not have a civil war, right? That's what they want. And if it's time for Brandon Cooks to eat, let him eat. Let Dak cook to Brandon Cooks. And, oh, by the way, far as Dak Prescott, don't fall into the haters. Because here's another thing that I'm realizing. Everybody else is privy to having a bad game. Number 4, he can't, right? He got to be perfect in all walks of life out there on the field. He got to make sure that every throw is on point. But don't let them discount whatever you do out there because they say, hey, you didn't play against the levels of competition. Because what they're going to hold you accountable for, they would definitely won't hold other quarterbacks accountable for, right? So continue to do your own game, do your own race, Dak Prescott, and elevate, just keep elevating this team. Don't fall into the traps. Oh, man, you hear about Dak Prescott? He MVP. He haven't beat anybody, but yeah, he MVP. Hey, did you know that Dak Prescott got elite numbers? But those are garbage time. Don't worry about it. They're going to hate it regardless. They're going to try to give credit to everybody but you. So, look, just do your thing, man. Cowboy Nation, don't fall into the traps of trying to prove everything to the outside. Just prove everything that you need to do for the inside. And that's inside the star. And that's inside the confine of Dallas Cowboys and the real community. DC for life, not for short. Let's continue to elevate. Don't fall into the hate trap. DC for life, let's go. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Go Cowboys.